Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Crescent Sound podcast, where I give you a platform to express your struggle stories. You can either email me your stories on thecrescentsound@gmail.com and I present them on the podcast for you, or I can have you come on as a guest on the podcast and you can tell your story by yourself. Anyways, I'm your host, Luna, and let's begin with today's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 16th episode for the Crescent Sound. I'm your host, Luna, and these next five episodes are going to be very important. Even if you don't watch my other episodes, I really urge you to listen on to these next five episodes. And, it's going to be a mix of both Hindi and English. So, I hope you watch out for that. If you're fluent in Hindi, then these few episodes are going to be for you. So, these next five episodes are going to be dedicated towards HIV awareness and people's experience with HIV. And I believe that this is something that's very important for the audience to know about, and I believe there's not enough awareness about it. So that's why we're gonna have this for the next episodes, and I hope you really do watch. Anyways, as I said, we're gonna have guests coming on, right? People talking about their own experiences. So here I have a very special guest today. Here I have Mr. Kamal. Hi, Kamal.
Hi, hi,
Okay,
hi Luna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kamal?
I'm also good, doing good. Maybe your audience also feeling healthy and good.
Well, I hope so. But, Kamal, would you like to tell the audience a bit about yourself?
Okay, you know my name already. So I'm 24 years old, currently living in Jaipur, Rajasthan, and I have completed my graduation degree at Rajasthan University. And currently, I'm working in a network called Positive Yuva Network Association for the betterment of PLHIV youth living across the state. Right now, we are just established in Rajasthan state, but we are going on Pain India with our network to support this kind of youth. As a youth living with HIV since my birth, I have also, some similar challenges which I heard from them. So that's how we gonna put our effort or our best things towards them, a best platform for them to get help in every perspective.
hmm that's quite admirable. I feel like the work that you do is very important for the future. And, I feel like, more people deserve to know about it. So, I mean, I would really love to hear about your, hardship that you've gone through. I hope that that's okay with you.
Yeah, yeah. So, my story is like little, my journey for reaching till now here is having some good phases also, having some bad phases also, and some situations are very bad there. I try to cut, I try to cut myself from the life.
hmm
I just, thinking about suicide, like because I was diagnosed with HIV.
hmm
So it started from my village where I was living, like when I was 2 years old. And my father diagnosed that time. My father lived with HIV for like 4 years, but all the family members are not aware about HIV and they are not heard the word HIV.
hmm
So my father diagnosed, my mother diagnosed that time. And suddenly, when after 4 years, when I was like 6 years old, I lost my father due to this because we are not aware about this, how to treat it, how to give them medications and all. And that time, my worst situation started where I lost my one pillar of my house, and then my other family got to know about our status, HIV status. They started to, they started to act like strangers. So they separated myself, my
hmm
mother from them. So our utensils are different, separated. Our living area also separated. So the myths there in the village with the word HIV, it's like lack of awareness basically. So that is how I just feel the worst situation on my own house.
hmm
Then at some point, uh, I think, okay, at some point, my mother was started to work because we are not earning anything, and I was going to school that time, so I have to leave my school at that point. My mother started to earn like working in house to house for earning something, but she just not I'm not able to continue my study that time.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, I received some information about an HIV NGO in Jaipur. The name is Raise Asha K Kiran, and my mother admitted me here when I was like seven or eight, because at that point I have to separate myself from my mother, and that was the worst situation also. Like I have never
Mm-hmm.
lived without my mother.
Yeah,
It's
very young.
yeah, I was very young, and like every time I want to watch her, every time like I was walking
Mm-hmm.
with her. But that was like moment. I don't want to go to the NGO at that point,
Mm-hmm.
but for my life, for my education, she have to leave me there, and she came back to the village,
Mm-hmm.
and I started my journey there also. That is also beginning of my new journey, and it's like some happy faces uh, willing to come in my life. So I got lots of friends there and having the similar stories, like some of them having different stories with
Mm-hmm.
their families. So that's how I admitted to the NGO, and then the NGOs. You wanna know the NGO journey also,
Yeah,
so I
sure.
can also tell about that. So when I started to leave when I was 7 years old, and we can live in the NGO till we turn to the 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I was receiving support in my education, my shelter, my food, my clothes, and everything. I started to join the school, and everything was going good. When I was
Mm-hmm.
like 17, and one of our counselor at the NGO said that you have to step out in the society when you turn 18, and I have only 1 year, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just about to complete my schooling.
Yeah.
At that point, also, I started to fear because, uh, the environment of NGO is
Mm-hmm.
very different from the outer world. We want to go to the outer world. We
Mm-hmm.
want to see some things. There are rainbows we are watching from NGO in the outer world.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like started to fear. I started to get fear about like nightmares. When I
Mm-hmm.
was stepping out, I was like, I don't want to go. I have received some family. I got my one family here. I don't want to leave it. But at that point, when I turn 18, I have to step out, and I have completed my
Mm-hmm.
education. I thought everything will be good in the outer world also.
Yeah.
But the worst situation again introduced, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
my life. So at that point, a single landlord don't want to give me a house to live. I was
Mm-hmm.
paying something. I was paying the rent, but they want to
Mm-hmm.
turn. There are two reasons. So
Yeah.
first, when I was telling my HIV status, because it was very normal to tell in
Mm-hmm.
an
NGO.
NGO
Yeah.
to share about like I'm
Mm-hmm.
HIV, and like it's a very normal. Everyone just pleased to hear
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, hug me and like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that the same will be happen here also, but it's all in a bit
They treat you like
yeah,
not human, basically.
not human being. Like what kind of life I was living, they
Mm-hmm.
were looking like me. So at that point, I secured a night, I staying at my friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
There also, I had the conversation of parents talking about different things. At that point also, at that point also, it was like also a worse situation when no one is giving an house to a HIV positive person. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I was telling about like at that point also no one wants to help or give while I'm paying the rent. No one
Mm-hmm.
wants to keep the house. After like staying night in my friend's house, hearing the some whispers of parents like why you just take him here, or like it was the worst situation. It started to get worse, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to get give go back to my village because I've completed my education, I've completed my schooling. I want to do my college with
Mm-hmm.
some dreams. Okay, that's anyhow. We received some home, we got some home, and we just tell him lie that we have family. It's in village. We are
Mm-hmm.
preparing some government examination because he's also asking about family. Where is your family?
Yeah.
Where you living till now?
People are very nosy. They want to know everything.
Everything, and like
Mm-hmm.
who gonna take your responsibility if you just run away? Like there are lots of silly questions they were
Mhm.
asking, and we were just answering because we won somehow. And I started my working journey at working in a restaurant as a waiter. So I was working in the night, like six in the. I start my working in evening, 6 in the evening, until 12 in the night, and in the
Mhm.
morning I study my graduations
Mhm.
for my graduations until 1.5 year I was continuing that thing.
Mhm.
And then I thought that I should leave because my health was getting affected. I
Mhm.
was eating there. I was like not eating the well, a
Yeah,
good
because of
diet
the
at that.
restaurant. Yeah.
So it was affecting my medications also, my other things also. So I
Mhm.
left the job and I started as a delivery boy
Mhm.
in Blinkit, if you know that, if you know the
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
So at that point, I don't know, tell anyone about, okay, I am HIV positive.
Mhm.
I need some medical emergency or
Yeah.
something. At that point, they don't need because I'm delivery boy. I'm standing outside the office with my bike.
Mhm.
So I just continued the work for 6 months, but at that point also, like the medications was started to do some symptoms. I started to put
Mhm.
my some efforts because I was not eating anything.
Oh, yeah.
Blinkit is like for 10 minutes. You have to deliver everything in 10 minutes and you
Mhm.
have to run like that.
Mhm.
So 6 months I continued, but that is also not for me to work like that, with some
Mhm.
medications. Uh, and then my timing was also getting disturbed. So when
Mhm.
I was taking my medication in the morning,
Mhm.
if I'm taking medication at 10 o'clock or like 11 or something like that,
Mhm.
and the Blinkit person is calling, no, 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 sir, you have to come like right now. You
Mhm.
don't take any breakfast, anything, you're just running.
Yeah, you have to go to your job.
Yeah, so that's how
Mhm.
I started to earn. And then I also work in some corporates. I will not take the name.
Okay.
And there also like there are educated person, but lack of
Mhm.
awareness has, put them in some other situations, and they are just okay. So some incident I like to share. Like I was like, so every month I have to go to the hospital and take my medications every
Mhm.
month. So they give medication for only month.
Yeah.
So every month, but random dates, very
Mhm.
random dates. So they were just at some time, like my manager was very cooperative at some point.
Mhm.
Okay, go. You have some medical, you have some. I was not telling about my
Mhm.
status. And after like 4 or 5 months, he just started to notice. I said, no, 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 you can't go like that. Why? What is that? Then at that point, I thought that I should tell to the manager because
Mhm.
he can cooperate.
Yeah.
The time I told to the manager that I, sir, I'm living with HIV, I have to take medications and like
Mhm.
that and visit the hospital like that. He said, why you working here? Why you working? So many times I've drink with you, so many times I like water and like everyone is
Mhm.
why you don't tell us and like that. And then after 1 month, he just didn't given the reason that I'm firing you from like for HIV, but he just have some other reasons. You're
Mhm.
taking leaves or something like that. So then I left the job and like they are educated, but they are,
They
not
refuse
aware.
to
Yeah, they
like.
refuse to accept the
Mhm.
concept of HIV.
Mhm.
At that point, I was like sitting at home for 3 months. My mom is sending me some money to like continue my education.
Mhm.
But it is also worst time because I was not eating the food.
Mhm.
No money, nothing. I was trying to get job and like visiting offices and offices, and I want to work like a honest person
Mhm.
every time because in my NGO I've learned that
Mhm.
you have any situation you have to tell them like
Yeah.
okay, because if you got any medical emergency, if you get some blood,
Yeah, you need
and
to.
you need to tell them like
Mhm.
if you get some blood and like front person is also don't know about it and that
Mhm.
he's directly putting hands in your wound,
Mhm.
it can be dangerous for them. You
Yeah.
have to tell anytime. So after that, my after some time, I also completed my second year of graduation,
Mhm.
and at that point, I received an opportunity from UNICEF.
Mhm.
So they was just, they have put it some fellowship. They have just introduced some fellowship at that point. It is called Lift Fellowship, Learning in Fellowship Together.
Mhm.
So it is a initiative of Udyan Care also. It is a very big organization working
Mhm.
on the children who are stepping out after 18.
Mhm.
And then UNICEF, you know that
Yeah.
UNICEF. I was selected for that because of my personal experience, because of my HIV status, and I want to work for me, for youth like me who are living across the state of Rajasthan. So at that point, I asked them, and they said, "Okay, you should work." I worked for them for 1 year. In the 1 year, I visited all the HIV homes of Rajasthan state. I seen their situations. I get to know about that the person living with HIV, and he's like in a youth group facing the worst situations at some point of geographical area of Rajasthan. People ask if you tell them like I'm HIV, I'm 24-year, they will directly connect you like you have done some sexual activities. You have done some bad sexual
Yeah, they don't
activities
consider that as like transmitted to you, like through birth.
to birth. Never, they will never see you like that. And that is also one stigma.
Yeah.
And there are some worst cases we have got in the network also. And I don't want to tell, but I just give you like some people have ended their life because of this stigma,
Yeah.
sexually you are just transferred sexually. You're like your father has gone somewhere, your mother has gone somewhere, sexual activities like that's how youth is affecting their mental health,
Yeah.
so that is how I just started, and that is how my journey taken me to here, talking to you.
That,
So yeah, so I completed 1 year of fellowship. Then I received some. I also learned some English speaking course at that point. I urged them, like I requested them, I want to learn English, and they given me 3 months of courses. And then I also learned my network also. After that, I got the opportunity to work for social cultural exchange program. So it's basically that cultural exchange program. Like people from other countries come to your country, and then they are taking some experience of cultures, experience of the things they are putting interest.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then I was earning very well. I was like in social exchange program, I was earning like almost 35,000 per month, and it was my highest payment. And it is very enough to send money to mom also, to have some good rented room also, like a good life. But at some point, I met uh, Manisha, Kushal, other person also. One of them was very, one of us was very in problem. He was facing some situations affecting mental health and everything. So we thought that we should start something here. We should start a platform here. So we decided to start Positive View Network, registered in July 2023. But before that also we are working, but unregistered we are working. So that's how I reached.
It's a very powerful story, and I'm very proud of you for going through all of that. I don't think like majority of the population can do any of the things that you've done, and it's very commendable. And I'm really sorry for all the, mistreatment that you've had just because people were unaware. Like your own family treats you like they don't know you, or you're like some stranger living in their house just because you contracted something that's not even your fault. So, it's quite sad, and I'm really proud of you for getting through all of that. Takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of, hard work to get to where you are, and even started your own thing. It's very good, and it's always for the better. But as someone who's HIV positive, I want to ask you, what are like some things you as a speaker want to tell to the audience regarding other people that have HIV?
Okay, so as a person living with HIV since my birth, I want to tell that the situations like India is very powerful in youth groups. India can do very much. India can reach to the development sectors, reach to the, a highest position.
Mhm.
The point is that we have to understand about so many things, not in HIV also. There are so many things is going on here.
Yeah.
But the major stigma is related to HIV. Why? Because there are myths which are more powerful than facts. So, like, still, I can tell you that in your audience also, it's still the time no one knowing that a mosquito cannot transfer HIV. Till the time also, like, You, if you can ask them, they will
Mhm.
say, okay, mosquito can transfer, but it is not.
It's not
People,
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not true.
Mhm.
Person living with HIV needs a love, a respect, and
Mhm.
he has also, like anyone was,
Just as any other
yeah,
person.
just an idea. Persons having dreams, want to
Mhm.
pursue the dreams, want to reach somewhere.
Mhm.
But what we do, we just, because HIV cannot see by face.
Yeah.
Can you tell me that I'm HIV positive if I'm sitting
No,
in
I
front
can't
of
tell
you?
you. Yeah.
But people are just putting some other eyes, like, you are HIV. I know that you are
Mhm.
HIV. Once someone want to tell you, someone wants to disclose the HIV status. Why? Because he or she want to protect you,
Mhm.
not protecting themselves.
Mhm.
So that's how we have to understand. If a
Mhm.
person telling you HIV status, person living with HIV in the society, we have to support them
Mhm.
because they need much of love. And
Mhm.
most of them, like, lost their and like father or mother or like family. They have
Mhm.
lost their family. So the mental trauma they have,
Yeah.
we have to support at that point.
Mhm.
So for them also, I said I would like to tell your audience that you should hate HIV, not the person living with HIV.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
have to stop HIV, not the person pursuing the dream and living with the HIV.
Mhm.
So
Like
that's
it's just the same as, you need to be loving, caring, respectful because, their life has basically changed from that point on. And, you have to have some empathy for them, you need to be understanding, you have to help them, and just because you either share the same dishes or drink the same water, you're not going to contract HIV. That's not how the transmission works, so it's quite sad, the condition that people have been faced to think that just by, even being a little close to them, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to contract HIV. But that's not true. That's not true at all. That's not how the transmission works at all. So, I hope that after this podcast, people will be more aware and people will realize that, people who have HIV are no different than, any other people that exist out in the world. And, they deserve love, they deserve respect, they deserve the same treatment just as anyone else. And, I'm so thankful for you to coming on and speaking on our podcast today. Thank you very much for being here, Kamala.
Thank you so much, Luna, for providing me this platform to reach your, more and more audience and
Mhm,
spreading more awareness through your podcast. Also, I
mhm,
think the audience who gonna hear this podcast will get more knowledge about my story, and
mhm,
through my story, they got knowledge about some of
mhm,
HIV awareness also.
mhm,
And thank you so much, Luna. Thank you
mhm.
so much.
Well, I'm very happy to have you here, and I think that'll be the end of today's episode. So I thank everyone for watching, and please tune in for the next episode since, these next 5 episodes are going to be very important. But yes, anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Crescent Sound. I hope you enjoyed and continue visiting this channel for more uploads. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to know immediately when I upload, and follow me on Instagram for updates on the coming episode for the Crescent Sound podcast.